I'm Tommy the Duke Morrison, a heavyweight with 24 knockouts, and I'm going to the top.
Tommy the Duke Morrison. He was a lightning bolt of excitement.
The man is a heavyweight puncher with the right hand or with the left hook
that struck the boxing world for a brief moment in time.
It's simple. He hits you with the left hook, you're gone.
He possessed a left hook capable of banishing anyone to the shadow realm.
He can take a man out, any man out, with one single shot.
He was an action figure with miles of charm and a powerful, flowing, golden mullet.
Tommy the Duke!
1969.
All-state linebacker in high school, he walked away from scholarships to focus on boxing.
Well, Morris began his career at the age of 13. He faked an ID card to enter a local tough man contest, knocked out a man twice his age.
Brawling in county fairs and local tough man competitions.
So I fought in 22 of them altogether.
Out of high school.
Tommy Morrison impresses the Detroit fans.
Tommy officially turned pro. He was only 6 or 7 months out of high school at the time.
In his first year as a pro, Tommy fought an extraordinary 18 times.
Tommy Morrison had a nasty left hook.
Len Moore becomes another knockout victim of fast-rising Tommy Morrison.
A lot of people thought I was just another Jerry Cooney. You know, somebody that had a little bit of power, but I had skill going along with it.
Too careless, though.
Now, this is always interesting to watch a fighter to see if he's a closer.
A finisher, yep.
He possessed tremendous offensive abilities.
For a while, he seemed invincible. He had survived a brutal climb from a hard-scrabble childhood in Jay, Oklahoma.
Tommy's ascension for a period of about 3 years was comparable to Mike Tyson's a couple of years before he won the championship.
He electrified crowds with his Tyson-esque first-round destructions.
We can hear that leather popping.
See what I mean? This kid can bang.
This fight had marked the dramatic turning point in Tommy Morrison's career. Seated at ringside, observing Tommy in person for the first time, is legendary boxing manager Bill Payton.
Whoa, there he goes. The Duke Morrison.
Payton was very impressed with the great natural punching power of the boy nicknamed the Duke. Recognizing the unique attraction of Ty Morrison with the fighter's grand uncle, the legendary John Wayne, creating masterpiece posters and thrilling news releases highlighting boxing's newest attraction, Tommy the Duke Morrison.
Tommy earned the nickname the Duke because he was the great-grandnephew of silver screen icon John Wayne, who was also known as the Duke.
Spoke too soon, ground down with a crushing blow to the midsection from Tommy Morrison. That one just caved his chest in.
Tommy Morrison is on his way.
The marketability of the John Wayne tie-in only further added to the Morrison mystique.
You fellas get together, there is a good chance that there is going to be a knockout because that's all Tommy Morrison knows. In 14 fights, 12 knockouts for the young 20-year-old from Kansas City.
Powerful, accurate combinations.
Big right hand, followed up on the left by Morrison, and Shelby is in a seated position, though. Knockout number 13, victory number 15. And Tommy Morrison remains unbeaten.
Tommy the Duke Morrison is a young heavyweight starting to make some waves.
Tell me about your future. What do you want to see?
Hold on, I want to see a big gold belt right here.
Tommy's a celebrity. He's a star. But he's also a young kid who has no clue how to handle it.
It was life in the fast lane, legions of women, long nights of partying.
Tommy's newfound fame enabled him to party the evenings away with different women every night.
And they call us up at midnight, 1 o'clock, and say, hey, you better come and get your boy. He's laid passed out on the floor.
Fame and women have seduced and destroyed numerous rising stars. It's a tale as old as the sport of boxing.
Through being very promiscuous, there was a time that being with women was a priority in my life.
Introducing Tommy, the Duke Morrison.
Highlighting boxing's newest attraction, Tommy the Duke Morrison.
There's the left hand. Jake goes down and probably out. What a huge shot.
Tommy the Duke Morrison.
Tommy Morrison at 20 years young. Come into play in a hurry at 227 pounds.
Here comes another first-round knockout victim of Tommy Morrison.
Morrison was chosen by Sylvester Stallone to be the villain in Rocky V.
He took a screen test and has been cast as Rocky's protege, or Sylvester Stallone's protege, in upcoming Rocky V.
His aggressive style and good looks brought him to the attention of Sylvester Stallone, and he was cast in Rocky V.
Stallone was even showing up to Tommy's fights to shoot sequences in the corner.
In Delaware Valley, the makers of Rocky V want you in their movie.
So at that magic moment in his lifetime, as an actor, he was a great fighter.
And for his role as a movie actor, he starred in Rocky V.
We'll see.
Stallone's presence made the fights even more enticing for fans.
6, 7,
Rocky V launched Tommy into another stratosphere of popularity.
The Rocky V movie was panned by every critic, and yet that really launched him.
Morrison is perfect as a pro, 28-0 with 24 knockouts.
So Tommy Morrison, and tonight for him, it is all reality. There's no make-believe tonight at all.
Tommy was an undefeated shooting star with unlimited potential.
Still trying really to get himself back into good left hand. Down goes Tillis.
I guess he does have a good left hook.
The Civic Center was filled with fans from all over the Delaware Valley and beyond.
Fame and celebrity are powerful drugs.
But I'm hungry, like you were. All I'm asking for is a chance. And just one shot.
Fans were lined up to watch the Duke. But he was still saddled with the Great White Hope moniker, something he despised.
And I bought into that Great White Hope and all that stuff. I mean, that's created by the media.
Tonight, the winner will take a quantum leap forward, and the loser, a lateral arabesque.
Tommy the Duke Morrison.
This fight is a chance, it's a fight that's going to catapult me to the top of the rankings. It's going to make me basically a household name. It's going to make people take me as a real fighter.
Tommy's first shot at a heavyweight title came against Ray Mercer.
28-0, 24 KOs. Tommy the Duke Morrison.
It was a star-studded event.
What kind of a sick takes the ice cube trays out of the
Redemption or oblivion.
Lost in this brutal knockout was how incredible Tommy fought up until the moment he got caught.
Morrison is more defined in the public mind by his one loss, the 5th round knockout at the hands of Mercer, than by his 34 victories and 30 knockouts.
So let's see if Morrison has learned, if he's taken the situation under control.
The long journey to reclimb the mountain had begun.
Another left to the
Tillman will not get up. That's it.
I've never seen a guy get hit with a body shot and roll over like that.
I believe Tommy the Duke Morrison will be back. Tommy the Duke Morrison knows now that he has to train and condition himself for a full 12-round fight. We'll be hearing a lot about the Duke in the years to come.
The spectacular knockouts returned.
Right hand, down he goes. Crashing right hand. I don't think he's getting up. That's it. Over. He's out.
And once again, the Duke was a force in the division.
Because many questions about Tommy were raised in his fourth-round knockout at the hands of Ray Mercer. Morrison had his right hand and jaw broken in the second round.
It's Tommy Morrison on the left of your screen, circling to the top.
In the second round, Tommy broke his right hand and his jaw.
Tommy Morrison is on ground where he has never been before.
The Duke displayed incredible heart.
Here we come to the end of round number 6.
You don't become a great fighter unless you're tested.
In the ninth, he won the fight on guts. This was fact, not fiction.
I know of 3 instances that fighters had their jaw broken and miraculously finished, but all lost. He won.
Tommy would get another chance at the title. This time, he'd have to overcome the legend, George Foreman.
And ready to challenge Big George Foreman for the WBO heavyweight title, June 7th in Las Vegas.
We trained Tommy and get him to a fairly good level of conditioning, never where we wanted him. The only time he ever got where we wanted him to be was for the Foreman fight, because he was scared to death of George Foreman.
Power that's made him the greatest knockout artist in the history of the heavyweight division.
Tommy knew Foreman was the most devastating knockout puncher in history. He had great respect and even fear for what Foreman could do to him.
Many may remember Morrison trained right here in Kansas City.
Tommy's trainer said this was the only fight Tommy 100% dedicated himself to training for. He stopped sleeping around. No partying. He was laser focused. Millions of dollars loomed on the horizon for Tommy if he could get past Foreman.
See the 2 heaviest hitters in boxing clash for the WBO Heavyweight Championship Monday, June 7th, live on pay-per-view.
Well, that is the question. What is going to happen with Tommy Morrison when Foreman lands his big shots? Is he still going to be standing?
12 rounds of boxing for the World Boxing Organization Heavyweight Championship of the World.
Regarded now as the #1 fight referee in the world, and it's Morrison's second attempt at this title.
The plan was simple. Get in. Throw your shots.
Good right hand again getting through.
Get out.
He thinks so too. There goes the bell to end it.
For the winner and new champion, Tommy the Duke
Morrison. Morrison is a clear winner.
In 1993, against all odds, he made it to the pinnacle of the boxing world.
Became world champion. Beat George Foreman, one of the legends of the sport.
I told him after he beat George Foreman, if he would train hard for a year, we could make $100 million. And he wasn't able to keep that promise.
He celebrated his monumental victory exactly as you'd imagine.
It was just like they were putting in slingshots and just shooting it at him.
Yeah.
I mean, he was a handsome guy. He was a movie star.
Did you ever practice protected sex?
Tommy didn't believe in protecting himself, inside or outside of the ring.
It was life in the fast lane, legions of women, long nights of partying.
As he climbed to the highest levels of his sport, bada bing, his focus waned.
I walked around thinking,
that I was bulletproof.
Like when you're fighting at the real top level of a sport, you start taking drugs, start sleeping around.
In between clapping cheeks and smashing beers, Tommy defended his title.
His first defense of his title was supposed to beat Mike Williams.
Inside the ring, Tommy was all go, no stop.
That's part of the reason why he's being hit a lot harder. Double left hand again.
Frequently abandoning strategy for a war of fists.
Still, heavyweight champion from Kansas City, Tommy, the Duke Morrison.
Morrison was in line for the biggest payday of his life in a unification bout against fellow champion Lennox Lewis.
I remember when I had a contract for Tommy Morrison to fight Lennox Lewis for $9 million, which was huge. And he said he wanted a tune-up fight before that, so we put him in with Michael Bent, an ordinary heavyweight.
We just thought, let's take what we think is a safe bout.
To prepare for this monumental moment in his life, Tommy went to a concert and got hammered the night before.
I lived in Kansas City for about 6 years. 3 of those 6 years was a time in my life. And people ask me, well, how many women have you been with? Well, I mean, too many.
Boxing is a sport that if you don't have a self-discipline, you just cannot survive.
All Tommy had to do was win this fight, and he was guaranteed a financial windfall that would change his life.
Morrison trying to move one step closer to a potential matchup after the first of the year with WBC World Heavyweight Champion Lennox Lewis.
Let's get ready to rumble!
This championship fight.
His potential was unlimited, which made his downfall all the more heartbreaking.
And Tommy Morrison is down at 2:05 of the first round. Now Morrison has been down before in fights that he has won, and now Tommy Morrison gets hit with a
Morrison was knocked out.
And Morrison is down, and the fight is over.
Just like that, his life-changing payday with Lennox Lewis was gone.
That was probably the bottom, and that was after the Bent fight.
His longtime manager immediately quit. The Tommy hype train was over.
For a long time, I think I was in denial a lot. I mean, I knew what my problems were. I just had a hard time admitting it to myself.
His career slipping away, Tommy Morrison retreated to his roots. He left the party life in his adopted home of Kansas City, Missouri, and bought a ranch near his childhood home.
For the first time in his life, Tommy seemed to be maturing. He moved away from the temptations of the city and embraced a normal family life. Here he is, playing with his monkey. And here he is, playing with his cats. Normal life stuff.
Tommy is saying all the right things, but the boxing world is full of fighters who have claimed to be changed men, only to revert back to their troubled pasts.
A rededicated Tommy returned to the ring.
Say, hey, listen, Ray Mercer did it, Michael Bent did it. Bent didn't have a lot of experience. I got more than that.
Opponents were now lining up to face Tommy, thinking Morrison had been exposed and was ripe for the picking.
This young man has improved his arsenal of punches since we first saw him dramatically.
Down goes to win. It's over. Tommy Morrison showed the arsenal of punches that he has.
Tommy rattled off win after win, knockout after knockout.
There ain't going to be a lot of dancing. Nobody's going to mistake this for Roseland.
throw the towel and it's over.
Any setback during this period would likely mean the end of Tommy's title hopes.
Get a chance to take a look again at the progress of Tommy Morrison. Well, a lot is on the line for Tommy Morrison this Sunday afternoon, Randy, because a good performance is mandatory.
He's got to do it, Al, because if he doesn't, he just might become a truck driver or whatever it is. He won't be a heavyweight championship boxer.
But this time, there would be no setback.
Is that the new Tommy Morrison? He tells us it is. He's got a new look, a new do, a new robe, a new bandana, and some old fans.
See the height disparity. Brown is 7 feet tall. It's not an optical illusion, folks. Goes down for the left hook. That time his right hand was down and he got caught. That well-documented left hook that got the job done. A victim at the hands of Tommy Morrison, who gets his knockout in the 3rd round.
Tommy was a hot commodity again.
Tommy is 26 years of age. He has been around so long, you tend to think he could be older, but he started very young. Big body shot. Left hook to the body. It sent Anderson down in a heap. That was vintage Tommy Morrison with the left hook to the body. It's hands over. One punch to the body does it. That was about as good a left hook to the body as this man probably has ever thrown. And it certainly did the job. Terry Anderson is still down.
It only took about a year for Morrison to become the #1 ranked contender in the division. The Duke was in line for another title shot.
In 1995, he got the chance of another title when he faced Donovan Razor Ruddock for the IBC belt.
Ruddock was a warrior who had taken Tyson the distance.
There is Tommy Morrison in yet another watershed in his career.
He dropped Tommy in the 1st round.
Oh, there goes Morrison!
It looked like another letdown for the Duke. But Morrison showed true heart, pressing forward.
Oh, he hurt Ruddock with a right uppercut. Razor Ruddock got rocked by the same punch to knock Morrison down. Lifted, give him a standing 8 count. That's bizarre.
Because of the gloves on the top of the rope being used as a support.
I guess.
They talk about Morrison's terrific left hook. And you are going to see it.
Boom, perfect timing.
TKO here in the 6th round.
The winner and new IBC heavyweight champion, Tommy the Duke Morrison.
For those who had labeled him all hype, and to the many who still do, Tommy Morrison was now a 2-time heavyweight champion.
And then in 95, I won another one. Knocked out Razor Ruddock in a spectacular performance.
Tommy quickly secured his much-desired match against Lennox Lewis. But the Duke showed up in mediocre condition.
As 2 power-punching heavyweights, Lennox Lewis and Tommy Morrison. And preceded by trainer Tommy Durkins, here comes Tommy Morrison.
A 2-time world heavyweight champion, Tommy the Duke Morrison.
As As was his M.O., Tommy faded after the opening rounds.
Morrison not able to open up and throw much yet as Lewis is keeping him at bay with the jabs.
And if Morrison keeps standing out there and letting Lennox dictate the pace, you can count for a 12th knockdown.
So far, he has not been able to slip Lewis's jab. He's eating it.
Lennox kept him at a distance, using his jab.
And right now, Lewis is landing combinations at will. Lane's getting very close to a stoppage here. You get that sense.
And when Tommy was gassed, Lennox ended him.
Down goes Morrison again, and I wonder if Mills has seen enough. That's the fourth knockdown of the fight. That'll do it.
A terrific performance by Lennox Lewis. Defensively, he kept that right hand up so that he completely neutralized Tommy Morrison's outstanding left hook.
Tommy was still a name, and Don King arranged a multi-million-dollar payday for Tommy on a 3-fight deal.
I just signed a $38.5 million contract. It's a 3-fight contract with Don King.
Win or lose, Tommy would be set for life after his next match. Only this time, he didn't even make it to the ring.
When they sent me to take a test and what started all this.
A few hours before the fight, he was going through his normal pre-bout routine, a walk along the strip to relieve the jitters.
Come back to my room, my message light was blinking. He said, you flunked your medical exam. They said you tested positive for HIV.
But it all unraveled just hours before his scheduled bout on February 10th, when he was told he had contracted HIV.
Boxer Tommy Morrison spoke publicly today for the first time since testing positive for the HIV virus.
Morrison pleaded with his young fans to abstain from casual sex.
My young fans out there, I'd ask that you no longer see me as a role model, but see me as an individual that had the opportunity to be a role model and blew it.
He was banned from the sport of boxing. He was just 27 years old.
Unable to earn a living from fighting, he ultimately ended up convicted of drink driving offenses and drug possession.
He spiraled into depression and drug use.
He served 14 months of a 10-year sentence.
Upon release, Tommy turned to a series of cosmetic surgeries, bicep implants, and chest implants.
You know, after he turned HIV positive, he was doing all kinds of crazy drugs, and he got pec implants, and they were preposterous.
This was Tommy at age 44.
But that was him.
Oh my God.
He was falling apart. His life was over.
Wow.
And that was him at 44. He looks like a 7-year-old man. He was not doing good, man.
Damn, dude.
He got addicted to all kinds of drugs, and it was just, you know, his health fell apart. It was not good.
Requesting a court-appointed attorney.
No, sir, I've got my own, and surprised he's not here.
He died soon after.
The boxing world taking a hit today with the death of one-time champion Tommy Morrison at the age of 44.
Though his story was cut tragically short, Tommy left his mark on the sport and entertained millions around the world.
Let's get ready to rumble!
That's it. And a good call from Toby Gibson. Good call.
A two-time heavyweight champion. He struck the heavyweight division like a whirlwind. Tommy the Duke Morrison.